I'm gonna do it because, like, after you know, the classic vlogs, like, some people's favorite videos are the ones, like, after I saw Indiana Jones 4. Which is, like, that kind of blows my mind. Like, I spend weeks sometimes writing these things, and, like, everybody, like, my favorite video is when you just totally shit yourself over Indiana Jones 4, and just, like, you just start weeping. And I'm like, okay. So if that's all it takes, I'll do that. But as for shows like TNA Impact, and if you don't know what Impact is, it's a wrestling program. It's like the worst wrestling program ever. And shows like The Deadliest Warrior. I watch these shows and just rave. Like, I'm sitting on the couch like, this is the piece of shit. I hate this fucking show. This is horrible. Like, why am I watching this? I just like to bitch about it, you know, like, I just pace like a caged tiger. I'm like, this is the worst show ever, and my brother's like, turn it off. I'm like, but can you believe this? TNA Impact is one that kills me because that's a show. How many shows can you name just off the top of your head? Good shows that got canceled after a season. Firefly. One season, sometimes one show. You know how long TNA Impact's been going on? 8 years. And it's only gotten worse. It blows my mind. So I hope that answers your question. Hey, first thing I would just like to say is if we all gave such a big round of applause for Spoony, we should give it also for Scarlett. Scarlett, so much work. She does so much work. And don't forget my lady love, yes. Anyway, I just had a quick question. A couple times in some of your videos you've made mention of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the heart of the cards and stuff like that. I was just wondering exactly what your extent of knowledge is of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or it's just sort of at the card games on motorcycles sort of thing. I actually really like watching Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! On TV. I like to make fun of it. I especially like Yu-Gi because there's kind of two forms to Yu-Gi. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know enough. Like, I've watched the show that I've seen little Kurbos and stuff like that. It makes fun of itself, kind of. But I always like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, whenever he plays cards, the Pharaoh takes over and his balls drop. He's like, Taya, look, a card game. And Taya's like, you should go play Yu-Gi. Because she's totally got the hots for the Pharaoh, but not Yu-Gi, which is weird. But he's like, okay. And he's like, all right, Pegasus. It's time to do. But nobody questions this. Pegasus never for a second thinks like, gee, what happened? Like, what happened, Yu-Gi boy? He's like, I hit puberty. But the main thing that bothered me about that is they cheat. They cheat like sons of bitches. That Pegasus guy has that eye that he can see your cards. What the shit is that? Oh, what does it do? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, actually, an interesting thing. I think it's in the original manga. It's actually revealed the reason why Yugi wins all the time. The puzzle lets him win. If he's going to lose, it like reshuffles the cards in his deck and lets him
You read the manga.
Yeah.
What was the question? I'm sorry. How much do I know about Yu-Gi-Oh? Very little. I always like Brock on Pokemon because his eyes are shut all the time. He's just like, he's like, Ash, you need to lead me to where the next Pokemon fight is. I can't see. Life Elf disease? You can't see his eyes? Yeah. Thank you for coming up with it.
Who's your least favorite wrestler, and also how much of Final Fantasy X-2 do you play?
Least favorite wrestler, that's a hard one because you could say like what's the least talented wrestler I've ever seen? No. Actually, probably my least favorite wrestler right now is John Cena. I don't know if you've seen this guy, but he has this way where like he can take like they actually have issued the worst beating they've ever issued a guy on the show where like 8 guys just systematically kicked his ass for like 30 minutes. This is him the next week. I'm like, you can't even pretend to limp? The dude is like the last son of Krypton. And it robs the show of all kind of drama or intensity when the guy is just like you could shoot the guy with a shotgun, he wouldn't sell it. I'm not saying shoot him with a shotgun. But yeah, I miss John Cena when he used to rap, like he was the Wigger rapper. It was so much better back then. What was the other question? How much Final Fantasy X-2 did I play? Very little. I played it up to the point where they go to the hot springs and they start comparing the size of their boobs. I was like, okay, that's the kind of game we're going to play, is it? Okay. All right. I don't need to play this.
I actually own it, and first day I played for 2 hours and never played it again.
I like how they completely changed the concept of Yuna. First of all, in Final Fantasy X, they seem to be under the misconception that Titus is the main character. He's not. It's not even Auron. It's Yuna, the chick who's going to fight Godzilla. And Titus is always running around this fucking game like, this is my story, this is my story. And Yuna's like, who's sacrificing themselves to kill Godzilla again? And Titan's like, shut up, I got a blitzball. But Yuna, after defeating Godzilla in 10-2, becomes a pop star. She's like the leader of the biggest religion on the planet. And she's like, that's pretty fun. You know what I really want to do? Hit me, baby. Find out. So I didn't play much of that. Oh, he's wearing a Final Fantasy VII shirt. Okay.
No, I'm not. Magfest.
Oh, okay, Magfest. Okay, I apologize. But
On that vein, Magfest, are you going?
I think I am. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
And the other question I had was, Dr. Insano.
Here we go.
What are his plans for the 2012 election?
And then, what's the last part?
What are Dr. Insano's plans for the 2012 election?
Well, I mean, we got to get reelected, so I don't know. He's running on a platform of science and evil, you know. Actually, what was funny was I got so many messages after I did that whole thing where Dr. Insano gets elected president, and people were like, I would seriously vote for that guy. And I was like, I almost never write back to comments like that because if I did, I would love to talk to you guys all day, but if I got like 3,000 comments a day, and I would spend all day doing that. So like, but I was like, why? And they're like, because he's honest. If Dr. Insano got in front of you, he was like, and now, my plan is to take over Iraq and steal all that oil for our own good. He'd have been like, wow, that's dark, but at least he's not bullshitting us. You know, with politicians, you can tell these days.